looking at the split from last game, it's probably a good thing to go that route. Nice opening by Batu through the wall. Obviously had the info from the drone, and now they've got the opening pick. Apeks looking to pick up the pace towards the A site, and filling in the space is Xiao. He's isolated though, nobody close by. Caught by the stun, but his smoke gives him a little bit of free space to play with, and he's ready for this backside wrap. Catching the first at least, but going down after. The spam through from Hero might just have recovered this.
And a solid reveal. I know Billy will be happy about that one. It's going to at least garner them an extra. But the spike in the meantime has gone back. In fact, it's going around the world, all the way towards that C site. The problem is, with Governor going down, they now sit with a disadvantage. Batu even trying to find a little bit back, does win the fight versus Ruxic.
Spike planted.
This is now a winnable position, even though the HP is very low for those Apeks players.
A stun coming back on for Malzy, and a flash as well with low HP in the 2v2. And the utility they have, it's difficult to run the clock down. They have some reactive utility for the deep control. Batu, he was looking for someone coming through spawn, but now has a chance to dive on them. They're not going to be caught by surprise, though. Navi covering all their bases. Malzy on the walk around. He might just have caught some beautiful timing. They're still expecting him to be down below, but the shot fired a little too early. Nice connection. Using those pistols and the numbers to their advantage. They've already managed to overrun the site.
Spike planted.
20 HP left on Hero and some support coming in from Angel, but these are opportunities that Apeks are keen to capitalize on. Navi, they won the pistol by a narrow margin, but by a fairly wide one. They seem to be losing the follow-up. It's only Koala Noob remaining. And as strong as he may be, up or not, this one looks like it's too far gone. Salvo's online for the post plant, time already ticking, and you know there's been some recovered weapons. We can see it's Fluorescent with a Vandal, and yeah, they've spotted a Vova. And now he's in a lot of trouble, surrounded by players, taken down. Malzy, though, makes this again doable. He's very low on HP, though. The Governor's gonna have a lot of work cut out for him.
Already had problems because of the deep position of Koala. The stack up was available for Navi, able to take so much extra space. Trap still online, so they know that if there is anybody pushing, they're coming from that cross angle. Koala's just watching to see if anybody gets aggressive. Now knows that somebody is within the site, trapped in and just somewhat waiting for the peak. Hits the timing, and now only Governor stands to face versus 3.
All missiles away.
Big swing, lined up as well, Governor! I think. Sorry, boys.
Oh, an immediate aggressive attack towards C, but there is a split coming from behind. Well, it's only Angel to find absolutely anything here. Xiao on the site will be decimated, and yeah, Koala's just got to save. They have put everything into this round, only had passively, as Navi are right now. You are going to burn the clock quite low, looking for this aggression. And they've ended up finding it. The door opening, attempting to try and surround. Batu, it's huge though from Hero. That double drops the spike. They even had the cross coming through with the ultimate, so a problem, that Armageddon. Spike is going to be stolen. Not going to be able to be blocked. Fluorescent has done well. Koala is struggling at the moment, eliminated within that A site solo. And somehow this now comes down to a chance again for Apeks.
Tom, they were being played like a fiddle. Realistically, that B push saved the day. Xiao finding the pick outside C, got rid of a big danger, but still, the danger is lurking. Avova's being the standout player for Apeks in so many of these moments, and you talk about clutches. He is someone that's gonna win his and shut yours down. A chance for Navi that's slowly fading away. They seem to have seized the day in this round, but instead, it was falling back into Apeks' hands. Now it's Avova who has to make good on his promise, and he will not. The Viper's Pit in play, safely deployed. Good spam, but the return is there right away. And the problem will be rooting these players from that position. Showstopper, one of the best chances they have, and it's fired in blindly, not landing, not finding its mark. And this is the thing, there is no need for Batu to take any of these fights, especially in Tree. You know your back is secure, and there's plenty of friendlies to take that fight up front. Apeks are shredding them. And well, if you want to counter to that big old gun, having to fight through a pit is going to make it pretty difficult to use the tour de force. Koala almost falls on his way back and knows he has to fight to keep that rid of some of that early aggression, or some of the danger of it, I should say, with Fluorescent so aggressively pushed up. Navi fill in the space after, but it's nothing but dubs for their side. Every fight going their way. And the spike left in the dirt. Apeks wanted that robo control. about it in an unusual way, still being in that choke point by the time Navi pushed through, despite having Fluorescent up so far. And it looks like they're paying the price with this round set to fall into the hands of Navi.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch of Angel and Ruxic should get the job done, unless the jiggle's just off timing, and well, it was almost there.
Take that round, so much time is taken off the clock just by the utility in play. They'll instead try to get ahead of it, trap these players on the site, and fight them here and now before they can retreat, but that doesn't seem to be going well. A dominant performance from Apeks, and in a 2v4 now, what's the decision? You could see a world where they go and save, but still pushing forward.
Poison all going down. It is the call to leave. Definitely a moment or two where going to be utilized, but as you said, this is all a ruse, and in fact, it's worked perfectly. We've seen Ruxic TP to the other side of the map. Showstopper is going to be popped though. It's an attempt to try and dance out of there for Hero, but although he goes down, that's actually not bad. He has bought extra time.
It felt like this was the best opportunity for Navi with a conventional A hold a player up on Ruppel. They had in fact, the showstopper, obviously, they had a huge chance to catch that A push, but they second-guessed themselves. And of course, with the rolling thunder on C, you expect that they're committing. Batu's being caught. Navi on this slow walk, the train arriving on the A site. And Apeks in trouble. Armageddon put into play. It forces Ruxic forward. Angel goes back. They're not on the same page, and they'll pay the price for it with inefficient trades. The salvos were there as well, just to make it turn from bad to worse, keeping them on the other side of the smoke of Ova with another, but he's still got two more to pick up. They're dancing through that smoke of Ova, takes Koala Noob.
Hold on to positions. For now though, they're actually going to aggressively fight forward. It's not the worst start, but Governor able to get to a good stun coming out of the Apeks side of Ova, realizing that this is not worth fighting anymore. You already have the player advantage, and just wanting to try and retreat.
Yeah, it was definitely the right call there. I don't doubt Avova that much in duels, but there's no point in risking it around Mound. You've already got that advantage, and you can put a smoke down, and you can see the effect it has. Navi stopped completely in their tracks around Mound.
I think there's a magnet on Koala where the Jarge is like, I'm gonna get you. Like just following him around the map. I think he's had to shoot it every single round. Governor really is in his head.
Fluorescent, nicely done. The blast pack in from Hero, but Fluorescent didn't take the bait. Dealing with the problem of Xiao first, and wow, that's enough flashes.
Should. There's quite a few players here now.
They've picked up the first, not ready for Governor perhaps, but Hero is on the ball. They're not spotting Avova though. The double kill has put Apeks in a decent spot considering the round that they're in. An outlaw in play, but everyone's 150 full shields. And well, the weapon not reloaded on the peak is probably the biggest issue of all. Fluorescent, well, now it comes down to tidying up. It's housekeeping. Can they pick up one or two extra kills? The round looks quite difficult to find, and indeed they've got a beautiful little stack up. The flash will not catch them either. The door, that wall's soon to fall. That's going to open up a window for them, and it's free. Angel caught off guard. The ultimate by Fluorescent used to more or less keep herself alive and confirm that information. At least two spotted. Good idea about the extra. Great stun. Not such a great follow-up though. Navi. Oh, that's a heaven sent of a round for them. We're back into winnable territory. One picked off on the cross, though. Ruxic, 11 HP, and Hero on 66. But he lands a headshot that turns the tide right back in their favor. Showstopper already online before that kill. And now, well, that will be a beautiful safety net, maybe even used here just to close it out. This is Avova, after all.
Shadows traveling.
Showstopper popped immediately. This is just for time. Just to try and bait the opponent, and he's just going to go jumping straight through. Okay.
Look up in this space where they know there was an op before, and with Governor waiting eagerly for Hero's roundabouts, there will be no flank. It all comes down to the site take, and it looks like they're moving towards B. It probably better to avoid the operator.
30 seconds left.
Let's see if they have a better time against Batu.
Batu seems well aware of this potential. It's whether or not they could maybe spot an angle from above. Missed shot. That was an opportunity, and now with the remaining players still having that Armageddon online, this is seemingly an easy setup. Not even going to use it. Salvo's attempted to at least try and chunk a bit of damage. I believe that Xiao did take a slight hit, and then the patience from Fluorescent has put Navi back into a horrible position. But here comes Xiao. He's been a little bit quiet, tried his best. an immediate usage of that Armageddon, trying to force them into the hands of Avova, and that's exactly what they've done. Angel's not going to survive it. It all hinged on a kill coming out from Hero. Xiao has at least got rid of Fluorescent, though. The trap for them when they went back has been dealt with.
I love how optimistic Angel is that maybe they wouldn't have put the ult all the way into the corner.
You don't have anywhere else to go at that point.
Yeah, it was run into the choke point with the spike was an opportunity, but yeah, they might have been a bit more annoyed if he had done that. At least it's retrievable and found by Navi with a slow shift up. Clearly Apeks not expecting them to still commit to this angle, and Avova's the one to find the info, at least gets a paranoia out of them. So somewhat less utility for Navi to work with, but post-plant Astra can still do quite a lot.
One of the plan is here. So you have that Cosmic Divide available. And that is going to be used. Trying to keep a couple of pockets of space. Try and use that surprise element. Could make things that little bit more awkward. Obviously that time is already ticking and Koala's been forced off the angle back into the salvos. In fact, he's going to go down to a snake bite. It's pure utility. Xiao looks for a gap but instead is found by an opponent, although that time is ticking.
Look at this late lurk by Xiao. They're already retaking control towards the broken door. If Xiao can creep up, I think he'll be a little late though. Apeks moving somewhat quicker than their opponents might expect them back into this retake.
Is they've got like a double lurk, an aggressive play. Hero ends up taking out his IGL, removing him from position, but it's fine.
Let's see if Navi can paint the scoreboard red with another. It's Hero lighting up a kill feed, and Malzy again, same position as before. He's able to somehow around A main, attack or defensive side. They lose opening duels. It looks like it's slipping away, and he's the one to step up and put that performance through. Got his Rolling Thunder as a result, but also went down. So that'll be for a future round. 3v3, and the pressure onto Fluorescent, not with an operator either. So those headshots might be necessary as they cross out, and it's a clean opener.
She's done her job. Just needed to get the pick and get out of there. Good opportunity still for a post plant, and HP already low. I feel like there was a temptation from Koala to attempt to get a little bit more aggressive here. Dimensional Drift is going to give them every single piece of information they could ever need, and actually they're walking towards Avova. This could be perfect. Has that paranoia, immediate usage of the utility, and going to try and go for the knife. Doesn't quite manage to get that pick though. Still standing as Ruxic, trying to dance within the smoke, so will not survive any longer. Governor gives to his teammate Fluorescent again. Maybe a little bit unlucky not to get to the re-swing. Definitely feeling confident in her ability. Well, maybe a little bit too confident. Even still though, Hero lost. Xiao trades. It's back to a 3v3. Spike on the B site, but you have to bear in mind that they're taking their time. Cosmic Divide utilized once again just to make sure they can get safely into that post. Oh, maybe not.
Again, man, Malzy's had a great game.
That's Angel
such high
impact
kills.
Divide.
Yeah, it is. It's not fantastic as the strategy goes, but this is the Brimstone main that's known for just the same kind of play. Ruxic is in a smoke. They haven't seen him, but they are shredding him. The knife attempt again. This time it's Batu, and it's the utility to claim the kill. Ruxic last alive, and the spams give him away. A clean response from Apeks. A push. They'll be sent back to this long aggression on its own, and a paranoia, but it lands a little late. Fluorescent goes down. Still good for the trade at least. So not. Oh, I'm surprised Governor's still going. Governor pushes right up when it seems like the push on short was cancelled. They initiated a solo A push?
No, I think what it was is because they put the shock darts in, they believed there could be no one in that corner.
Oh, okay.
So, but they didn't bounce them far enough into the back of the wall. So Xiao, I think took 0 damage from those shock darts. So just a bit of a misread on the utility, and because of that, he's the one to go down for it. Then again, it's his own shock dart, so there's only one person to blame in that scenario. Nobody currently within this C site, and a lurk being left on Hero. Now, they've intentionally not broken that trip, maybe trying to sell the concept that nobody was in this position. It seems like they are going to be wrapping right back into Hero's cross. Even still, though, Badger's going to win that fight and gets the second onto Koala. 2 players waiting and watching for the young Turkish player. Xiao with another. It was hyped up on the desk, him back on the Sova. Well, he needs to ace the pistol, and he is not going to. It's Batu.
Players up on A, 4 of the Apeks members ready for a fight, but that fight goes the other way nonetheless. These players pushing on long, trying desperately to take down Governor. Will they risk their back being wrapped up on? That's why Angel is locked in on this position, and they've spotted him with the reveal.
Yeah, Angel also threw the thorns.
Danger.
So the second player was actually denied being able to get through that choke. Ruxic, though, going alone. Running through the smoke on A, maybe still having the expectation that there was nobody there. Luckily, there's been a pretty hefty gap on the other side, and
getting ahead of the problem, you know?
I wasn't going to say that. That's just mean.
I don't know, Tom. I don't know anymore. But yeah, Avova, well, he's going to be a little upset. No, the swing doesn't come in on time. Number of players coming towards him, and a reveal right behind him. Got a nice little angle there. They don't have any idea. It's free for the first. The planter in danger. They have to step in. The stun is perfect. Governor with a wonderful play that seems to have locked Navi out of this round. They'll wish they had that extra player, as that Ruxic is the last one standing. Paranoia even caught him. Insult to injury. And a firing squad awaiting him if he peeks round. Oh, okay. Nice try by Fluorescent, and Hunter's Fury committed off this early on. The other players were a little too far away. That was dead on, but distance not quite ideal.
It's always quite easy to forget that it does actually have a distance range rather than just actually just hitting whenever you line up. But yeah, that's why you saw the players run backwards into the spawn. It's one of the few places they can survive. This aggressive round hasn't worked out. We've seen an attempt with the Hunter's Fury combined with some aggression. However, though, not having that expectation that somebody could be so far up, Avova is tagged relatively low, but has managed to escape, bringing this back into a 4v3. Again, though, it's a full gamble onto the other side of the map as they attempt to make their way into C. Maybe not. Expecting that they've sold a ruse, there's a chance that if Angel falls here, this ends up back in a 3 versus 3 re-aggressing round onto the angle, but he will win that fight. Already spotting one. I think once the second player goes, surely the full team will almost start just running back in the other direction. No, they're looking to try and pressure this. They're going into the blender, but eventually Koala has made that realization that this is not worth it. Even still, though, from a 4v3 with a low HP player, we now sit in a 2 versus 2. The one danger, though, or the one major danger, is that Hunter's Fury is online for Xiao. Obviously farming up a lot of kills. I also wonder, I think Koala's just going to try and take one and then fade away.
Still has that gate crash to fall back to. Wonderful work again. Navi, there should be no way for this one to fall the other way. Hunter's Fury, like you said, online if they need it. Defuse halfway, smoke pops. They've seen it's half. Now they know that they're in a dangerous scenario, not giving him the time to defuse. Here it is.
An attempt to try and clear out the player with a Hunter's Fury. Batu will go down. That's the full Cypher setup. That's actually well worthwhile in terms of getting that opener in. Deep Vice Wall as well. And the Vine's already placed, but immediately destroyed. That's the thing, though. Fluorescent actually going to bait out the wall. I think expected. I don't know. I heard something around it. Sounded like it went up, but instead she's gone back in the other direction, still having that expectation of players close. The trades will come in, but still sticks in Navi's favor for now. Already, Hero in position, Xiao with another. It's going to be left all onto Avova, normally good in the clutch, but the time is ticking. So much still to do within these moments. And already you can see the shock darts coming in. Hero going to run all the way through from the side of Navi. Already going to be using those thorns, but left Koala at the back of the site. Not able to quite deal with Fluorescent, but down to just 8 HP. Those thorns are going to be deadly. Rifle retrieved as they now look to try and get onto that defusal. Hero, though, up close, is acting as the bodyguard. Finally put down by Fluorescent, but that should be the damage done. It's a bit shaky from Ruxic, but the bigger problem is that time is ticking, and while with Fluorescent only on 8 HP and a rifle now retrieved, all that can be done is a save. Again, it's going to be attempted. The same play with the Hunter's Fury, and it's exactly the same result. Surprisingly, I think when they see that Hunter's Fury online, they have expectations. They've used the From the Shadows as well. Rolling Thunder, I think, is actually going to catch Avova, who's still in the back. This is a very weird round. They're currently fighting for the spawn. Mosey still going strong, has turned it back into a 3v3. Considering what was committed, yeah, sure, it's an even scenario in terms of personnel, but Apeks have thrown way more into the round.
The sheer chaos. I have to say, Navi did very well in adapting to it. Players in front of them, behind them, Hunter's Fury thrown into the mix. This wasn't an easy
We saw him,
That timing for Hero was perfect, slipping in as Malzy rounded the corner, posting up and landing the headshot. Another connection.
30 HP for both of those fights as well.
3-piece on B, it just seems to be his standard, his baseline performance. And from here, there's no chance for Governor to have impact on the round. They're spread out, they're running the clock down. You gotta win the fights when they're offered up. Yeah, I understand why you go B when Hero just seems so comfortable here. A shutdown of the first, it's FLORESCENT down. She's been struggling in those early fights. The Vine's in play as well. Look how annoying that makes it. The players slowing their push completely, and as they set their eyes on the site again, the backstab from Ruxic seals the round. Malzy is gonna try to save this operator. They now know exactly what's in his hands, and look at the response. Immediately, they're running it down after him. A chance to pick up one. The reset, though, not quite so easy. Ruxic, so good for Hero. They are staggered and stalled slightly, but the spike making it here, and Hero thinning out the herd. This man is a big danger. The spike's gone to backside solo. Well, we better hope that there's a lot of impact to be had. Avova coming down on long. That's a free kill onto Angel, and Koala spots him early. Paranoia. I think that even caught Angel. Yeah, oh, he's done for. No chance in that fight. The wall on backside, well, that's who was caught coming out of it, and despite one player to go, or unless they group up and blitz it together, there's risks with it, but the big risk is they'll never make it towards the wall. A little shaky, but they get there in the end. Koala with another, and finishing it off.
To be desperately confused as to how this has happened with a player towards the spawn. Now Batu's going to walk back in and go, there was a guy in the spawn? Like, how has that happened? But it still puts Navi in a 5 versus 3, and you can see that Apeks are not just going to sit back. They're getting aggressive, moving forward into spots where they can find a surprise. Unfortunately, the surprise is another player to fall. It's all going to come down to what can FLORESCENT do alongside the IGL of Malzy, doing decent damage. In fact, a fair few low players been invested, but Hero is in for a nasty surprise. Only having a pistol means that he has been slaughtered, and they can get into a close range post-spawn. If they can get into the post-spawn, they may not even need it. Koala only going to get one with a rifle.
They don't know Angel's here. He's caught a lot of them reloading, but Malzy corrects in time. And the smoke couldn't have been timed better. All the bait here for Shao. Oh, goodness. Beautiful opening, but Ruxic being here isn't accounted for. 2 shots and both connect onto the head. Apeks, they try to make it work here with these weapons. They had a real chance, at least, from this squad. Hunter's Fury. It's fired blindly. It's not finding the impact, but Angel and Koala certainly are. Back to a 3, in fact a 2 versus 2, with big pickups on the other side. Koala Noob sends the decoy. He's going to use this to post up. That's the operator on a long-ranged angle. No real opportunity now for Apeks to re-aggress on that spot. The rotation already coming in as Governor goes wide around to the A site, where he should be able to freely walk in and get that plant down. Oh no! Koala with the miss.
And that actually allows, well, potentially allows Avova to get out of here. We'll have a smoke in a second as well, just to mark his own cross. That was seemingly a freebie.
30 seconds left.
Gonna witness that plant coming in. The rest of the team still a little bit unaware. Good position from Shao, though. Should be the that's now the second time in this round that Avova should have been dead to rights, and somehow they've managed to come out of this from such a huge advantageous position for the side.
They heard him.
Navi, and well, Koala probably doesn't realize he's walking into a 2-man trap. Who would expect multiple players around this corner? He's predicted the first, but yeah, Governor is eventually there on the...
Of course, his position, he can play wherever he wants. Just to be a thorn in the side, has the ultimate to TP if needed. And that is a big pickup. A couple times now, Navi have found big value, even inside the smokes, just holding their angles and finding, I guess, pretty predictable timing. Maybe even using the neon utility as a signal.
It's never going to be easy.
Oh, that reveals caught. Hero's still alive, but eventually he will fall. The TP from Avova. It's not even the first one we've seen in this map from him, going straight into the enemy spawn. Down to 30 HP, though. Not long for this world. Tries to take someone with him. but at least finds the space for his squad. The Vice Wall almost working in Apex's favor as they use it to block off Garage, and it almost works as a smoke as well. They're able to cross all the way back to long, Rolling Thunder online, Hunter's Fury in play. Navi need to be quick on this retake, and that's a wonderful shot for Fluorescent. Gaps covering Garage gaps, which leaves Ruxic on his own, but they haven't checked! Ruxic, that double is huge. B-site open for business, and Angel, having just fled it, will find himself smoked off. Both sides, in fact, this is a plant that should be undeniable. All put into play, but the TP out is not free! No one's watching again! A few mistakes have given Navi an opportunity.
Already tapping that spike, baiting him into the open, leaving Batu to try and fight versus 3 players. They need to try and isolate as many of these fights as possible and shout ultimates that will be able to deny too much here, especially that Hunter's Fury that's gone down, unfortunately, for the attack.
Wall has been picked off, numbers back to even. Good stun, though, will slow them. Big TP from Ruxic, but it's being spotted. He realized that in time, thankfully. Back he goes. Paranoia not ready, not online. They have to just swing right into these angles. Going well to start.
To late that battle, she is completely alone, but just completely avoiding things. And now Hero's in a prime position. It's not pretty though. It might be one of the biggest wins we've ever seen. And Fluorescent is going to eliminate the rest. Oh, that is such a rough spot for Hero.
Again, moving towards this C site. Angel in the crossover denies the TP that no doubt would have been stuck. No in Apeks, no in Avova. Hero, well, he's been stunned up now on the back of the site, but the cover from Koala comes in clutch. Hero making up for the previous round, and, well, map 3 incoming. We're going all the way to split.
Very aggressive take in towards that side. It does seem like their opponents were setting up for the retake, attempting and succeeding on a very aggressive response. Ruxic will manage to stem the bleeding a little bit, and in fact, extend things. I don't know if they're going to expect Avova at the back of this site, though. Oh, it's checked, but not quite able to find that damage. Ruxic's doing absolutely everything. Back into the 1 versus 1, facing off against Governor.
But if they stay alive late into the round, that is going to be a big drain on the clock. A little bit of aggression from Navi, but I think it's all posturing. I imagine you'll see them fall back. Astra in an unusual position, staying aggressive underneath the boxes. They've got players on side ready for the fight, and Xiao! With this ult coming through, that's confirming that the hit is on its way. They know about Avova. The TP coming out of the ult up top's being heard. Avova and Batu dealt with. They're ready for Fluorescent to be around here. Even still, what was that?
10 seconds left.
I can't believe I just saw that. You got replay that, maybe even now. Screw the round. 2v2. Xiao, 32 HP. Tom, all thanks to Fluorescent, this is winnable.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to walk anywhere near. Don't even go near a wall that Fluorescent is looking at, because you might just fall. Gun barrel spotted. A 4th kill already for Fluorescent, and she will take over this round.
I feel like I need a minute.
It's easy to forget that they're currently 4-1 down. Fluorescent has danced out of the way of that showstopper. Angel was patiently waiting for some aggression, and what Avova's doing, fantastic work on the site, trading things out to leave them in a 3v3, but Navi still decent spot to play from. The drone is going to clear that backline. Again, it's actually going to be utilized, but it doesn't connect onto Hero at all. In fact, he's able to basically just sidestep the ult. Still, Molesy has been able to pick off Angel. That leaves the spike in a bit of a precarious position, and the time is ticking down. Hero immediately going to utilize that flash to try and give some space. And the Apeks players in the meantime have grouped up, but it doesn't matter. It's been causing them issues. Trying to clear him from mid has been troublesome. Some aggressive positions. Xiao waiting patiently. Ruxic also on the cross. This time Fluorescent is caught out, and the rest of the team are a little bit, well, screwed is the word that comes to mind. Molesy now and attempting an ace of his own, a 1 versus 5. Even with a Rolling Thunder, their economy is in the bin, and trying to face back into the site seems like an impossibility, hoping to maybe clear some guns, but you have to bear in mind the economy for Navi could allow for a showstopper.
Nice shot from Fluorescent, and maybe, you know, for Navi, sending a player out late towards this A site, it's definitely going to keep a lot of them in position. It does allow for a rifle to be retrieved by FLORESCENT. Ult online, but with Batu falling and the Viper's Pit not available for late round, it will be more difficult for players like Malzy and Governor to have impact, but Rolling Thunder alongside that rifle, if they decide to commit it, the round's not over yet.
I think it might take one more before that time already ticking. They are going to use the dimensional drift, so clearly an idea to find something into this round. They have got one connection off the back of that Nightfall, and it seems like they are going to set up that Rolling Thunder. They want to try and play for this round, and the timing of Floor is excellent. The aim not quite as clean as usual, but eventually she will get the job done while connecting onto it. I think he's also spotted a player down at the bottom of mid, but the timing from FLORESCENT could it be better? One for free, teammate to support, Koala already tagged. This is looking like a good opportunity to respond, but they have to be careful of the player up above. Already clearing out one. Governor on the site can only find one of his own. And now it's left down to the clutch king himself. Avova. He's had a couple of attempts, the paranoia through. And already the gun gonna be removed. It takes a bit of time for the Steel Garden.
You can hold on to, and the problem is Batu looking the wrong way. It is confusing, but I can't blame Batu for that. I can't blame Apeks for losing track of how this round was going, because this is a bizarre way for it to unfold. Ultimate sent through, Avova had a gap, but Ruxic managed to dive onto him before that became a real problem. 12 seconds and a plant's coming down. It still hasn't gone in thanks to utility in the other direction, and players are only now moving through middle to get back. This is a crazy round, but one that Navi somehow seem to have found control over. A 4v2 post plant. With the economy being where it is, up in play, I think this might be save territory.
Possible to get a pip of
for Heaven. Sort of doubling up on the security of that utility. Oh, okay. Clearly not expecting Koala Noob to be that close, but the punish comes in nonetheless. And Batu's able to upgrade to a rifle. That's a great start for Apeks.
Back into slightly more passive positions. The Siege from Angel thrown out to Heaven to just try and delay. And there's that Cosmic Divide. The wall has also now been placed over towards the stairs. It's all about just delaying, slowing, making this retake a lot more awkward. And then Xiao just lurking on the edge of the smokes. His timing needs to be sublime, and while it seems like him and Hero alongside the leader out from Malzy, but they're falling far enough back that connecting that stun may be difficult. Angel's gone full sprint up mid to try and find the gap, and instead has met Batu. Showstopper, there's a lot of players around here, and the flash is good, but he just predicts where Batu's going to be. It's been a bit of a cursed game for the Viper player. Avova needs to win this battle, and it's a bit shaky, but the job is done. Malzy in combination. The Judge looking to get up in the face as his headshots, but barely any bullets, any of the shells connecting. But the time is ticking. 14 seconds, trying to bait them in. Try to give that little bit of extra space. Koala wants to take that fight, and I think there may be at least one more. I think Xiao, he's been pretty good in the last map as well, but I'd argue this has been better. Batu with a nice start, though. Koala out of action, and it seems like Avova's going to double up himself. This pistol looking inevitable, unless we can finally see that ace out of Ruxic, but with 47 HP, Mitch, even I'm not a believer in this one.
No, listen, he was lights out earlier on, but this should be too much, and Malzy confirms that it will be. Effect with those vines once the wall gets tripped, and then he moves over to A. He's got a flash that's now going to need to be used with that pickup from Batu, and indeed it will be. Beautiful stuff from Hero finding the kill, but it's the other side of the map where the test is about to come in.
That's the thing, this is a full buy. The first couple of kills that came through
30 seconds left.
definitely seem more awkward. Now, normally, I'm absolutely fine with that wall being activated and baited out, but the problem is the amount of time. 20 seconds left on the clock for them to try and make a move into this site. This is starting to get a little bit shaky, but Xiao being cleared with ease, and Angel needs to get something done! It will be the double up. Now left onto Malzy, just 8 HP, and you can see Angel almost just running it down.
Yeah, no, 100%, but at least now they're moving through avenues, coming through Heaven where those vines won't block them. We saw them B main and A main, already triggered on B, now triggered on A, running down the clock lower, stopping Batu from joining the rest of the squad. He's boxed out for now. Ruxik's crossed for free, and the reset is wonderful. Batu only now making it in. The paranoia perfectly timed. He either gets caught by it or the round is done and dusted. And with the spike up in heaven, it was already cemented in favor of Navi. Again, this setup was causing so much trouble. Will react aggressively and take that fight to them, but that's what FLORESCENT does best. Eliminating Angel, and the stun will get them up into heaven.
Dimensional Drift immediately activated. They want to try and capitalize off this, but they have not seen Xiao. Xiao is the one underlying factor that they have completely negated. Already one to his name, still at the back of this site, looking for a little more. Will get isolated, but the time that was bought was enough. That was the spike on the deck. Koala. These seem to do the trick in week number 1. Batu's done well. Managing to isolate Hero. Ruxik also desperately low on HP. Shouldn't get anything here. Almost gets away with 2. That is far more damage than expected. An immediate rotation from Angel. Well, that's not gone to plan. All the players over on the Apeks side taking damage. Koala does have the ult, but the problem is the showstopper. He wouldn't be able to take a single bullet and has gone on the full rotation in from behind. Probably just going to try and fire this in from a distance. Maybe even waiting for an extra piece of utility from Angel. A single kill from him will also get that Nightfall online and could give the game away.
Usually I'd question if the ult is used here, but I think 12-5, there's a very good chance. Koala's on the walk up, low HP on Batu as well, but a headshot delivered. The health didn't matter, not at that range. Apeks maintained control, and with Koala down, without a showstopper to work around as well.
Some utility of his own. He's been playing off angles the entirety of this game. FLORESCENT is going to attempt to try and bait this one out, but with nothing else being spotted, this could be a problem.
Even Rolling Thunder, look at the response. They've put up the vines and then have Xiao playing inside the smoke. It's a nasty spot. Ruxik on the backside, 14 seconds. The plant very much needed, and they throw themselves at Ruxik.